After using the Nothing Phone 3 as my daily driver for a full month, I have a slightly different take. Some things are brilliant, some frustrating, but overall, this phone surprised me in ways I didn't expect. So let's inspect.
Hello, my dear tech friend, I'm Michael. This is Nothing Phone 3, something that I use as a daily driver ever since it got released. And for the record, I'm coming from a Samsung Galaxy smartphone, which I kept on using for the past close to 2 years. And while I'm pretty sure that in terms of hardware, there's nothing fresh or new I can disclose about Nothing Phone 3, I believe in terms of software, there are a lot of things I can talk about from my own experience, and I want to share with you a few little hacks which can make a big impact. Let's go!
Let's kick it off with the cameras, because that's where I've had the most fun and some mixed feelings. The main sensor? At times, fantastic. Dynamic range is solid, detailed retention is great, but I get what MKBHD meant when he talked about soft focus. Some shots feel like they're missing the micro contrast. Night mode? Rather impressive. Even in low light, colors and details are preserved well, portraits are nicely cut, bokeh looks natural. One issue though, the shutter lag. Especially when capturing moving subjects, I had to take multiple shots, unlike with my previous Galaxy S24 Plus, which usually nails it on the first try. As for the ultra-wide camera, I barely used it since I've been reviewing a lot of action cameras lately, but it felt decent. Now, the telephoto, that's where things get interesting. The triple zoom lens is so reliable that I've ended up using it mostly for macros, portraits and even daily shots. Compared to the same setup of the Galaxy S24 Plus, this one feels like a serious upgrade in usability. Photos? Almost indistinguishable from iPhone or Samsung in most conditions. As for videos, this is where the phone falls short. Covers the basics, lacks pro controls, no shutter speed, ISO adjustments or log mode. You can try third-party apps, such as the Motion Cam Pro, but they are paid. Depending on your goals, could be totally worth it. In that sense, given the bare-bones stock app, this is where Samsung, Xiaomi and others have a serious edge. As for performance, I think it's surprisingly good. Nothing Phone 3 doesn't have Snapdragon Elite chip, but still feels very snappy. It's mostly thanks to the clean operating system. In fact, it feels faster than most 2025 flagships because those heavy skins from other brands throttle the experience. Any game I threw at it ran fine, frame rates are stable, UI smoothness? Top-notch. But it may get warm. Prolonged gaming or camera use? You're gonna feel that. I miss having control over performance profiles, like what Samsung offers in One UI. But overall, performance is good, yet I wish it had thermal management tweaks and user-accessible performance settings. Now let's talk design. I get why people make fun of it, I really do, but without the controversial aesthetic, this phone wouldn't have gone viral. The unboxing is minimal, no surprises, it does feel premium. The phone itself is solid in hand, size is almost perfect, though I wish it was 1 to 2 mm thinner. A big personal note here, I usually hate when volume buttons are placed opposite the power button, always leads to mispresses while gaming, but here never happened with Phone 3, so the ergonomics are on point. And this extra button, more on that in a second, I actually reprogrammed it and turned it into an iPhone-style action button. First, a short summary of the specs. The OLED display, which operates at 120 Hz. There's the triple camera setup that we reviewed, solid stereo speakers, dual SIM support, USB Type-C port with just 2.0 standard, fast charging up to 65 watts, and the famous Nothing OS based on Android 15 at launch.
And just so, the Nothing Phone 3 represents a mixed bag between great ideas and a lot of missed opportunities, mostly on a hardware level. But if I may break down my most favorite and least favorite features, I'm gonna start with this triple zoom camera because it is superb, gives splendid results, and also maybe the side button, because if you properly reprogram it, it can actually become really useful. Gonna talk about this in just a moment. My Least favorite features, obviously now there is no proper glyph interface. It's been replaced by this gimmick over here, which is not very practical and makes me feel like I'm using a Tamagotchi, if that rings a bell. In 2025, a USB 2.0 port, I mean, come on. But let me give you a sweeter treat, because the display is really good. This was my biggest concern coming from a Samsung display, but guess what? Nothing nailed it. The screen is gentle on the eyes, bright enough in sunlight, and super crisp. Here, I'm testing the flickering and the pulse width modulation for those sensitive to it, and sadly, it's the only major downside. Looks like the PWM is around 960 Hz, which is far away from the initially communicated 2160 on Nothing's website, a value that disappeared short after the launch. The measuring tools don't lie, and yet this is better than the value we find with the panels of the Galaxy S25 line, but not as good as what we get with the much cheaper CMF Phone 2 Pro, for instance. Still, this is close to flagship tier display quality without the flagship price. Yet, for the sake of technical accuracy, this is LTPS, so the refresh rate increments vary between 60, 90 and 120 Hz, results into greater power consumption as compared to the superior LTPO technology, which we wanted to see here, and Gorilla Glass 7i for protection, which is not as good as Gorilla Victus. It's a questionable cutting cost measure. I've tested the speakers in a few outdoor and indoor scenarios as well, loud and clear, but the tuning lacks some of the pleasant balance that you get on a Samsung or on an iPhone. Also, at high volumes, the earpiece may sound slightly modulated, especially if the volume is above 50%. Still, for movies and casual music, more than enough. One of the biggest wins about this phone is the standby optimization and overall the battery life. Drain during idle is minimal, that's something most people overlook. The screen on time is acceptable, not record-breaking, but I easily pull day and maybe day and a half of dual SIM setup. Charging speed? It was usually about 33 watts in my testing, even though the phone supports more, so do my chargers and cables. But hey, that's still better than most of the Pixels. As for connectivity, not using a Snapdragon Elite chip doesn't seem to hurt here. Signal reception is excellent, NFC strong, Wi-Fi is stable, and the fingerprint reader quick and accurate. Won't get the top of the charts, but functionally, no issues. As for the software experience, I've said it before in my CMF Phone 2 Pro video, and I'm gonna say it again, this is the best kind of Android experience out there at the moment. Close to Pixel, but better in many ways. You get dual app support, customizable quick toggles, great launcher with smart AI app sorting, clean user interface and no bloatware, and some cool AI-powered features. The widget resizing can be weird, the essential space, I'm not a big fan, but I use the side button to build my own iPhone 15 style action button. Here's the very short version of how. Just take a look. The long press toggle on and off the speaker, a double press turns on the torch, and I did that using an app called Shizuku, plus the Hail Freeze module via F-Droid, no root needed, just some ADB knowledge. I could make a full tutorial about it because it's really helpful. You know what else could be helpful? To talk about the negatives. The USB 2.0, well, come on, nothing, that's not fair. The polarizing back design, the limited protective case options, and this really matters given the low repairability score, the lack of pro camera tools in the app, and if there's anything I'm missing, feel free to add up. Conclusion time. And this is a flagship about the software and about the price, not about the hardware. But if you're looking for Pixel-like experience with some elevated features and better customization and a faster processor, the Nothing Phone 3 absolutely nails it, with exception for the camera. Because yes, in terms of photos, really close to the big players out there. In terms of video, I would say still a long way to go unless you are stubborn enough. But after everything I've seen and tested for the past 4 weeks, this is my favorite 2025 smartphone. End of story. I mean, despite the hardware imperfections, I think the software experience that Nothing delivers is currently unmatched. That's everything I wanted to share with you in regards to my initial 1 month after the release review of the Nothing Phone 3. Should you have any questions, suggestions, experience from your own side, or anything you want to say about the world of smartphones, you're invited. Comments are down below the video. You can help me out by giving me a like if you enjoyed this far, subscribing to the channel for more cool tech inspections, spreading the word about this video if you believe that's going to be useful to friends and family, and maybe using any of the affiliate links which are posted down below, because no additional cost to you, but greatly helps me to keep this channel running. And I guess I'm going to see you soon. Bye.